This is my CZW Tournament of Death 3 review. This is from all the way back in 2004, and a lot of people say CZW had their best year. Let's get on with the review. It started off with this sort of interviewer guy going through the audience, speaking with some fans, and I thought this was pretty detrimental to the event. You could have had a segment where you had all the guys in the tournament in the room together and have taken the phone together. But yeah, this is just to speak with fans, and this is where the infamous CZW fans footage comes from, and I recommend you look it up. Just type in CZW fans or something on YouTube, and it's pretty funny footage. First matchup, we had Arsenal versus Evil Legion number 2. This is a very difficult match. Well, would have been a very difficult match for both of these teams. Opening match at Tournament of Death, fans didn't know who you were, and it was a best 2 out of 3 log cabin light tube match. Basically, you've got to put your opponent through 2 light tube log cabins. Having said that, I think they did an alright job. There was a lot of botching which hurt the match, especially from Evil Legion number 2. He did a tope, or tried to do a tope at the top rope, and just fell on the apron and looked like an idiot. But I think he picked himself up and kept going, and it turned out to be a pretty decent match. 2.5 stars. Next we had the Barbed Wire Boards match, Ruckus versus Nick Gage. I thought this was good because I never liked them just putting a deathmatch guy like Nick Gage in with another deathmatch guy, because I always feel it's boring and they just spend the whole match beating each other up with weapons. With Ruckus in it, he did some high-flying moves and good wrestling, and actually played to the fact that he wasn't a deathmatch wrestler, and so tried to keep away from the weapons and all that, and tried to not get hit with them. And he was wearing baggy clothing and lots of it, so he wouldn't get caught in the barbed wire or anything. It was really good heel work. He had Blackout with him, but Nick Gage still won. 2 3/4 stars for that match. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Next matchup we had, not me coughing, that's for sure. I'm still recovering from flu, fucking flu. Next matchup was the match where I was talking about before, which is Madman Pondo versus Wifebeater, where you have 2 deathmatch guys going at it. This match was a good deathmatch, I guess. You don't really expect psychology or King's Road style match, so you can just sort of accept that. You kind of accept the match. But having said that, there wasn't really anything massively entertaining. They sort of just beat each other with weapons, and everyone kind of knew Wifebeater was going to win, because the story was Madman Pondo was an underdog. Wifebeater was undefeated in match tournaments, and so you could kind of see what was going to happen. But it was an alright death match. 2.5 stars. Next up we had Knoxx versus Sexxxy Eddy. This match wore off in a thumbtacks and carpet strips match. This match was alright. You had Sexxxy Eddy who got some film. You're getting a lot of heat from the crowd. You had Knoxx who was a blue chipper, and one of the first things I think Sexxxy Eddy or Knoxx did in the match, they threw down thumbtacks on the camps, and I thought that really played well to the thing, because they didn't just go straight into deathmatch wrestling, just beating every chance they got. They'd either walking over to a weapon, setting up a spot, or hitting each other with a weapon, hitting that spot which they were setting up. There was some actual wrestling in there, and with the thumbtacks on the calves, and this had been done before. It makes you sort of get more invested into the wrestling, the stand-up wrestling, where you want to see one of the guys take a bump to go into the thumbtacks. And I thought the selling was better than what we'd seen in other deathmatches. Someone would get thrown for thumbtacks and they can't just get up. I mean, they did the same thing here, but at least that was selling it, because that was kind of part of the story. But this match was actually pretty good. It lagged a bit at times though. 2 3/4 stars. Next match we had was maybe one of the best matches, probably one of my favourites from the tournament, which is Necro Butcher versus Green Phantom. Green Phantom's a big guy. Necro Butcher, we all know Necro Butcher, and it was Phantom in the weapons. And this match was crazy, insane, and really a testament to Necro Butcher and Green Phantom. Green Phantom obviously was a better wrestler, but Necro Butcher really did what he did best, which was having this crazy ass fucking brawl, and made fans believe that he was legitimately going after Green Phantom, punching him, and Green Phantom would be trying to get after him, hipping chairs at him. 5, 6, and you're thinking stop and break out and just get pelted with more from Necro Butcher. It was just a really fun match and extremely entertaining. There was one bit where I think Necro Butcher got hit and fell. Oh no, that was another match. That was the next match. So yeah, that's a spoiler, I guess. But yeah, this was real fun. There was all sorts of things used, like an ultraviolet cactus, which is Lighttubes with Thumbtacks, a bottle of milk, all sorts of crazy shit. A crush, which Necro Butcher was hit with real stiff. Really stiff match, really good match. 3.5 stars for a death. Yeah, for a death match, that's really good. I really liked it. I think we've got a really good amount of time. Next up, we had JC Bailey versus Chris Cash in a Lighttube ladders and Lighttube match, and this was really what I was talking about before, where everything seemed like it was just setting up another spot or hitting each other with the spot or whatever. There wasn't anything really in between, so it really was a poor spot fest at that. You know, you can have spots where you do a bit of wrestling and there's lots of big spots, but this is just them setting up for a big spot or hitting a big spot really the whole match through. Having said that, it was entertaining, so 2.5 stars for it, simply for the fact that it was an entertaining match. Some people have rated it higher, but I really didn't enjoy it because there wasn't any cohesiveness between the spots. Next matchup we had was Sexxxy Eddy versus the Arsenal in the Lighttube and ropes, Lighttube ropes and corners match. This match was actually really good. It's hard to describe it. Arsenal is a high flyer, and Sexxxy Eddy really didn't always resort to using deathmatch sort of tactics, but the deathmatch itself flowed very well. And while there was a bit of overuse with weapons, I felt it was okay because the thing made sense, and it made sense. Nothing makes sense in wrestling, but the match really flowed well, and Sexxxy Eddy really fucking messed up themselves at Arsenal. They really went all out with this match. 3.25 stars. There was blood everywhere. It was fucking and Sexxxy Eddy, even though he won the match, he couldn't continue with the tournament. Match after that, shut up dog. Match after that was JC Bailey versus Wifebeater. 1 star. It was just a squash where JC Bailey got really. It was like 3 or 4 minutes, and JC Bailey just got to a Lighttube spot. Really, nothing else much to say about that. 1 star. And then we had. I missed one. Oh, Nick Gage versus Necro Butcher and Payne's last match, which was also very good. What did I say? Oh, yes, Necro Butcher versus Nick Gage. This was another really good match. Maybe not for the best technical reasons or the best psychological reasons, or because it was even the craziest brawl, even though it was a pretty good brawl. Because it was, to an extent, it was just hilarious. Just like there's this bit where Necro Butcher punched a falls backwards over a chair, and he's sort of hanging upside down with his legs, arms and legs kicking. There's another bit where Nick Gage throws him, and he stops from a chair, and he slows down so slow, and then does the flip over the chair, or takes the bump on top of the chair. And another bit where he gets into the ring, and Nick Gage punches the Necro right in the ring, and he sells it for like 2 minutes. He's just in the ring screaming, and I enjoyed the match. And it wasn't just there was funny stuff. There was really good stuff for a death match in there. Necro Butcher was actually hitting Nick Gage with the pane of glass, but it wouldn't break, and so he fucking eventually Nick Gage had it on Necro Butcher and kicked it, and it just bent, and then kicked it and finally broke. It was just a pane of glass that wouldn't break. Highly enjoyable match. Another 3.5 stars for it. Next up, we had the finals, which was Nick Gage versus not Nick Gage, Wifebeater versus Necro. I'm trying to figure out what the match it was. Anything goes, tons of weapons, barbed wire, cage parts, covered in light tubes, and lots more. That's the description of the match. That's fucking brilliant. The match, I'd give it really 1.5 star because it was just 5 minutes, and it was really just Necro struggling to get up on top of the truck and do that messed up. Wifebeater slamming him off the top of the truck through the tables, into fire. There was really just the one spot, and there was some others all in between it. Not much to say. 1.5 star. It's disappointing for a finish, but whatever. The event as a whole, I think because it's the deathmatch tournament, I really enjoyed it. Not because of the deathmatch tournament, I really enjoyed it because it was really different. So yeah, I'm going to have to give it 7.75. They miss out on the 8 once again, even with a pretty good event. Definitely pick it up if you really want to get into deathmatch wrestling, because it is. If you don't enjoy it because of the deathmatch wrestling, you'll enjoy it because it was hilarious at times.